Okay, hello everybody. This is Boris speaking. Welcome to today's webinar. Before we begin, just a couple of organization things. Today's webinar was supposed to be given by my colleague Stanislav Beres, but unfortunately he wasn't able to attend, so I am the substitute for today. Before we go any further, I would just like to mention that today's webinar is recorded and you will all be on listen-only mode. So if you would like to ask any questions, you may do so by going to the question box in your application and type them there. And at the end of the webinar, I will go through them and try to respond to them. Another thing is that this will be a recurring webinar. If you have been with us already, you know that we've been doing this for a couple of months now. So this is a webinar that will be happening in the future as well. So we will have different topics and different subjects, so you can attend to different webinars. We do them on a regular basis, so please check out the events list on in our website. Finally, if you have some questions with regards to licensing or anything else about the product, please don't hesitate to contact any of our sales team, which you can see already on your screen. And there's one more thing which I would like to perhaps mention you is that my colleague Petra Florisova will have another webinar of 20 minutes, and she will show you how to generate leads from LinkedIn. She will introduce Sales Navigator tool and show you how to search for your leads or accounts effectively. This webinar will happen on Tuesday, 25th of February at 5 p.m. CET. Okay, so without further ado, let's start with the webinar itself. Okay, so as I mentioned already, my name is Boris Sodoma. I'm doing the business development for France and MEA. So if you're from this region, I'm your main point of contact. So today's webinar will be focusing on inspections and we'll go through the basic agenda. So at first I would like to start with product presentation. So we will look at the different elements and functionalities, different use cases. Then we will switch and we will do the demo application. So I will open up the application itself and do some demo over there. And then we will take a look at the back office tools that we have, the designer, scheduler, different analytics tools that we have. And you will be able to ask some questions. So even if you have some questions now, please feel free to type them in and I will check them at the end of the webinar. Okay, so inspections, a lot of people get confused about this. Sometimes they don't understand what it actually does, what it is. What it really is a dynamic form builder. So it's just a different name, but what it enables you to do, it enables to kind of create your own builders, create your own forms, and they can be dynamic. So based on what you put into one question, the answer and the question on the next one can change. I'll explain everything a bit later on. So basically it's a complete solution in your hand. As with all of our other products, this one comes in with loads of features. There is offline maps, mobile audit, there is integration with Exchange and Gmail, Skype, Dropbox, SharePoint, you name it. You can scan barcodes or QR codes. You can work with audio, video files, so you can take pictures, edit them. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with this product. It also comes with the Woodford. So if you're already using our solution, you're familiar with Woodford. It's a customization tool that enables you to personalize and customize everything that you see on the screen on your mobile application. So just as with our other products, with the inspection product, this is the same thing. It uses the same solution. If you have an existing project already and you would like to try inspections, or you would like to actually enable it and start working on your inspections project, what you need to do is just go to Woodford and enable it there. One little warning: if you want to run a trial of inspections, but you are already using a different scenario, please be sure that you turn this off within the 30 days. Otherwise, your mobile application will be put to its default state. If you're interested in obviously purchasing the inspections and using them after this, contact your sales rep within this 30-day free trial period. Okay, the advantages of this solution. So it's a fully integrated native part of a Resco platform. So as I mentioned before, it works with all of our other products. So if you're using, for example, sales and you would like to use inspections on top of it, it's not a problem at all. You just enable the inspections and use them that way. Obviously, it comes with 100% offline functionality. So if you're working in areas where there is a restricted connection to either Wi-Fi or network, that's fine. You can work with offline. And you can plug in your own data source, leverage custom logic, and as I mentioned before, this is a flagship product for Resco. So we really do a lot of development on this, and it's basically designed for any use case. And when I talk about the use cases, basically here are some that we thought might be worth mentioning, but basically you can really tailor it to any scenario and use it, for example, in automotive or health, manufacturing. We even have people using it in border crossing scenarios. So it really just depends on how you want to set this up, and it basically is a dynamic form builder. So that's what it's doing. The requirements for this basically are simple. So if a relevant questionnaire or a dynamic form survey needs to be created, then basically the questionnaire needs to be assigned to available staff, so somebody who will actually be working with this and filling the information in, such as date, time, or location. And then the team in the field obviously uses the application and inputs the data within the application so that they complete the questionnaires and send the results back to their CRM. And finally, the results are analyzed, evaluated, and then can be exported and can be obviously worked further on that way. I thought this might be interesting for you to see our clients by sector, so that if you're a partner and you're thinking about where this product could perhaps fit or what sizes of the different industries there are. So this is an example that can be worthwhile looking. So manufacturing is the majority of our clients. This is 25%, and then the list goes on: retail and wholesale, health, technical security and services, and so on and so on. Okay, so how does this work? Here's an example. Basically a day in the life of an inspector or somebody that would use inspections in a scenario. So basically, if I will be doing a demo today about lift inspection, so elevators. And if I will be doing an inspection, I wake up in the morning, I'm the inspector, I want to know what I need to do today, so I open up the list of my inspections. I get the map where I see my appointments, where I need to go, how much time it will take me to get there. Then I can contact the people directly and head out. I can tell them if I'm running late, or I can tell them I'm just around the corner and I'll be there in a couple of minutes. Once I'm there, I can do automatic check-in, check-outs. I can start the inspection itself. I can document what I do. I fill in the information with different text or multimedia. I get it signed and verify the result of my inspection by appropriate stuff, and then finally I get a report, and then I file this within our CRM. I can obviously give this report to the customer as well. Okay, when we were designing this product, basically we realized that there are 4 main stages that need to be addressed during a proper inspection process, and for that we created several tools to tackle these stages. So the first one is designer, then the scheduler, then the inspector, and then the analyst. So let's just take a closer look at all of them. The designer is a web-based tool that enables users to create questionnaires and surveys in a streamlined, data-driven user interface. It utilizes per record architecture, so not per entity, which is quite important, so that you can use it even without the admin. Basically, it serves to design a questionnaire, select the best form, and wide variety of available question types. We have checkboxes, spec lists, scan barcodes, as I mentioned, take and edit photos, work with sound and video, and much more. You can set up custom business logic for questionnaires. We also have configuration rules. If you're familiar with Woodford, there are some rules in the designer as well. And finally, there is a JavaScript support as well. The second one would be scheduler. So basically this is like a calendar where you schedule the work for your field team. So it's an interactive web-based application, and you can basically assign the created questionnaires with using this tool to your field team. It's focused, it's mainly aimed for the team leaders and managers and supervisors who manage their stuff in the field, and they are able to see all the questionnaires and information about the tasks, location, and they can schedule dates and times for each individual member of the team. Then third one is the inspector. So this is the application itself. Obviously it's a web and native mobile application for teams. So this is where the inspector receives his work and from their supervisors. And there are loads of different features built in, as I mentioned before, such as calendar, route viewer. We're going to take a look at this, so you're going to see what's possible to do with there. As I mentioned before, check-in, check-out is possible to do. You can get them done automatically or manually. And you can also do audit using this application, so you can find out how the user is interacting with the application. If for example, phone gets missing, you're able to wipe the data on it from the distance and do various things like that. Obviously, one final thing is that there is a full offline support, as I mentioned before. And then finally, we have the Analyst, which is basically a sum of different analysis tools that we have in order for you to be able to work with the information that were collected in the field, and you basically able to export them for further processing, or basically there is an automatic dashboard which enables you to see the results on one screen with the use of different graphs and reports. The integration, so basically we natively integrate with Dynamics 365 and Salesforce, but obviously if you're running a different backend, we also have some APIs that will enable you to connect to a different backend, but natively it's Dynamics and Salesforce. We also have our own CRM, which is called Resco Cloud. So if you have a project where the client is not able to or doesn't want to have anything as fancy as Dynamics or Salesforce, that's not a problem at all. For smaller companies, this is a very good solution that they often go for, as it's basically part of the licensing that is offered in the inspections license. So no additional fees are allowed there, and they're able to have basic functionality of CRM pretty much for free. Okay, when I'm talking about the inspection application, I also need to mention the external application. So what this enables you to do, it enables you to have an application available for external people, so non-CRM facing users. It can be fully customized, obviously. You can have your own colors, fonts, images. You can also have your own splash screen, the name of the application itself as well. But this application is subject to separate licensing, of course. I mentioned before that Inspections is our flagship product, and we develop a lot of new functionalities for this product. Some of you may have already tried some of them, so just to run through what we have already. So voice control is one of them. So if your inspector is not able to use their mobile phone, their hands, they need to wear gloves, they need to do something with their hands, they're not really able to kind of carry a device on them, that's not a problem at all. They can navigate and use the application with the voice. So this is something that we support. Also, we have a support for smartwatches on Android. So, wearables is something that we also look into, and then we also consider. We have a lot of different customers that, are not able to carry the mobile phone around, so they use a smartwatch, for example, to talk to the smartwatch to navigate through their inspection process. Another feature that is quite interesting is the tagged image feature. We will take a look at this during the demo, but what it is basically a visual inspection using a mobile device, even HoloLenses. So if somebody is interested in this, I highly recommend a video that we have on YouTube where you can see how this actually works in real life. And then finally, for clients that have Azure, we also have the AI image recognition feature. So, if you would like to use that in your scenario, you can do. So we do a lot of developments for new features. And if no matter how difficult your scenario is, I'm sure we can tackle it with the inspections. Perhaps I should also mention what is on our roadmap for this product whilst I'm talking about the different development that we do. So what we already work on is different functionality you can see on the left hand side of your screen. So folders, command editor, preview. Preview is a great functionality within Designer where you can actually see how your questionnaire will look like without actually looking at the application. But we also work on augmented reality, additional question types, image recognition. And what we have in plan is, for example, component library, localization. So, for instance, when you need to have the same questionnaire but have it for different languages, we want to support this as well. So we're working on this. And then page and decision tree, conversational interface. If you have any questions about this, feel free to type them in, or you can go to our website and find out more about these in our roadmap. Okay, nice. I thought that we should perhaps do a quick demo so that you can see the application itself. So let me just swap my screen and go to my iPad. And I need to turn on the screen mirroring as it went off. So just give me a second, please. Sorry about this. Okay, so just bear with me. Okay, we should be able to set it up in no time. Okay, it should be coming up any minute now. Here we go. Okay, I think you can actually see it already. So okay, so as I mentioned, I'm going to be doing this inspection from my iPad, so you'll be able to see exactly how the inspector would do this. And just to sum up, I would be doing a scenario where I'm a elevator inspector. So as you can see, this is the application. I have it set up in this way. Inspections is a product that is associated with green color, so I have a green color to use as a highlighter, the name of the product itself at the top. And then you can see the list of my different entities that I have pushed to my application along with different icons. Obviously, you can change everything that you see on your screen. I have just set it up this way. Let's start at the top. So I have a dashboard. This is something that you can configure by yourself, which is great. I have an iframe here, which is our website, and on the right hand side I have pushed my activities, so I can see what I need to do and when I need to do this. So I can basically just scroll to my activities for the day, or I can use a different sort of filter, so I can do all tomorrow, today, next 90 days, and so on. Okay, I'll go to today's agenda. So this is basically a calendar of tasks and appointments that I have to do. For now, I can see my appointments. We can see that today is the 19th. I can either get an agenda view, day, week, or month, obviously. So this is something that everyone's basically familiar with already, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But I can click on an account if I want to, and I will get the information about the account straight away. Here I can make this bigger. On the left hand side I can see a map where this account is located in. I can see different information on the account, what I need to do there, appointment type. I can see that I have to do an inspection. The contacts associated at the bottom, you can see Herbert Rasmussen is my main contact there, facility management. And then I can see in the middle inspection. So if some inspections have been carried out already in there, they would appear here in the middle. I have pushed appointment notes, so I can put in some notes here if I want to. But obviously what you want to see here is completely up to you. So I'll just go back. I'm going to go to my route. So this is what I mentioned before. If I wake up in the morning, I want to see where I need to go, what I need to do. No problem at all. I'll just open up the my route and I can see straight away. I start at 8 a.m. at work, and then I end up at 3:54 p.m. again at work. My journey will be almost 18 miles. And what I can do is I can optimize the route. So I can click on optimize route, and then if possible, the system will optimize the route for me. So as you can see in this example, I was able to save 5 minutes. Obviously, if something changes, no problem at all. I can drag and drop and change the order of the appointments, and it's just by drag and dropping the elements on the right hand side. As you can see on the middle as well, I have different pins on my application, on my map, and I have decided I want to have green pins for my contacts. And for the red ones, I have my account. So you know, if I need to add it up, I just click on the little plus button. I can change the start and end time. I can just, you know, click save, and you can see it's been added to my list. Okay, I'll continue on. I'll just discard these changes, I don't need them. So templates, these are the different templates that I have pushed to my application. Obviously, depending on my security role, I get access to different templates which were designed for me. So for my case, I have 5 different templates that I have set up for myself. But you know, you can have as many as you want. It's completely up to you. And obviously, depending on your security role, different templates can be associated with you. Then I have the list of my answer templates. So these are all the inspections that I have made before. I can, you know, go and check out the different accounts that I have made it on. I can open them up. I can see the different, you know, inspections that have been carried around. So this is quite handy if I need to access this information. Then I can go to my account. So if I open one of the accounts over here, as before, you could have seen that there is a map, inspections associated with it, contacts, different appointments that we have, and the address on the account as well. Also, if I'm running late or I need to, you know, give them a shout that I'm coming or anything like that, I can just slide on the account and I can either send them an email straight away, or, you know, I can send them a message. I can call them as well. So if I click on a call, I get the number that's associated with the account, and that's possible to do as well. Contacts, that's pretty much the same as accounts, with the difference that it is a contact. Obviously, once again, I can email or call them. I can open them up, see where they are on the map. Obviously, I can use it here to email them as well. So this is all doable. And once again, this is completely up to you how you configure it. Just as it works just as in any other products that we've done already. So it's the same for inspections. And then we have the report. So once I have done my inspection, I have generated a report from it, and then you can see the list of the reports here. Then we have the about section and settings section. I'm not going to waste too much time on that because that's the standard thing that you can find in pretty much any product. So let's just go to my today's agenda. Let's just open up the agenda view, and then I can see that, you know, here are some things that I need to do. So let's just go to, I don't know, the Apollo apartment building, and then let's just start to do an inspection. So I'm just going to open one of my inspection questionnaires. So I'm just going to go for the template, regular inspection, Boris demo. Here we go. Okay, so at the top you can see the account. So this has been pre-filled for me. So obviously this is a lookup field that's been prepared for me. So I have opened it from the account. So automatically it understands that this is the account that it's associated with. Inspector name, obviously that's automatically pre-filled for me as well. And then I have an inspection start. So I may come to a client, but then I won't start working until 2 hours later. No problem at all. I just change the time here accordingly based on when I started my inspection. Please fill the information about the elevator. I can see that the manufacturer is red already, so I'm just going to click on that, and I can see the 3 different logos that, you know, the elevator types companies that we work with. So we have Coney, Otis, and Schindler. So if I go for Schindler, for example, I can see the model is created for me and highlighted, and it's again in red. So depending on the type of the manufacturer, I can select a different model. Once it's been once it will be selected, the model will turn from red to black. Obviously, if I change this to something else, so if I go for Otis, for example, and different models will be associated with this. Okay. Serial number, so scan the barcode, fill in by hand. As you can see on the right hand side, there's a little icon for scanning. So let's just maybe click on that, and then I will be able to use the scanner. I have prepared a little barcode here, and then you can see that it's been filled in for me, and the serial number has went from red to black. So it's been filled out. If there is a problem with this, no problem at all. I can, you know, change this completely. I can type in anything I want. Test, or what I can also do is a nifty little feature. I can input the data by voice. So let's just test it out with a little mic here. Test 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Okay, for some reason it doesn't like my voice, but normally this should work. I just probably need to set something up here, but this is possible to input the data by voice as well. Okay, so general state, I continue my inspection. I can either, select functional, working with issues, not working. As you can see, everything is in a black color for now, because I don't really need to I don't need to differentiate between the different things. So let's just put in a functional for now. Please choose the activation date. So active since, I'm just going to click on that, and obviously I can just swipe through and decide where when this lift was active from. And then if there is somebody who will be present during my inspection, I get the lookup field here, click to select, and I get my list of the people that will be with me. So I go for Brian Kurtz, for example. If he's the office manager, he will kind of walk around with me in the area to kind of show me the lifts around and just be with me if I need to open any sort of restricted door and stuff like that. Okay, so let's just start with the inspection itself. One more thing. Next inspection date if necessary. So if I need to carry out another inspection, that's not a problem at all. I can set one, for example, for next Monday. Okay, and what this will do for me is that it will automatically create me a appointment in my calendar for next week, for the 24th at 11:30. So this is quite a nifty feature that you can also set up for your inspector. Okay, let's start with the inspection itself. So cabin, check the lights, control panel must be operational. I'm not going to read through all of it, but basically I just need to look around at the cabin and see what's working and what's not. So let's start straight away with if I have any doubts or if I don't know anything about the lift technically, you can also provide the inspector with a series of different documents. For me, there was an operation manual that is enabled for me, so I can just click here and I can browse through the PDF and open up the manual if I need to. So I can have a reference of the manual if I need to. Then I need to check out the lights. I'm going to click on the lights and I can see that I get different options that are enabled for me. So I can set, if the lights are working, I can click OK. If everything is fine, I will get the green color to mention that everything is fine. For example, if the control panel is broken and I go for damaged or dirty, you can see that it's gonna go red. If it's okay, it's green. So this is something that you can use like a different color coding for your different question and answers. I continue with my inspection. Cabin walls, okay. Speaker and microphone, I can select it's working, everything is fine. Brakes, I have tested the brakes, everything works splendidly. Wire ropes, okay, no problem at all. Great. If I need to, I can put in any additional comments. There we go. And I just continue on. The other type the other question type that we have is regarding. So if there was a problem with something, it's mentions cabin issue. If there was a problem with something, I need to specify it into detail. So there was a problem with the control panel, as I can see straight away in red. So I'm just gonna go here and find the control panel. So this is the one that I want to specify, and I can obviously specify priority for this as well. I just say that the problem with this, the priority is normal, and what I can do now is I can take a picture and just to show you that how to work with images. So I'm gonna click on the little camera button. I can either capture image or choose an image from a file. So I'm just gonna go for choose image, and here I have a control panel that's been pictured for me, so I can just view this image. And what I need to do is I need to specify something for my colleagues here. So what I can do is I can edit this image and I can draw into it. So I can change the color of my drawings. I can go for blue if I want to. I can change the opacity. So I just if there is a problem here, no problem at all, I can specify it here. Or something is not working here, I can you can basically just draw it here. You can also put in text here if you want. So I'll just put in test. That's fine. I can move it around. I can change the size of the text itself, and it basically enables you to do a lot of different things. You can draw, type. You can do pretty much anything you need to. Okay, once I'm happy with this, I'm just gonna click on save, and the amendments have been added for me to the image itself. Again, damage description. If I need to describe something more, I can just do so right here. Okay, here's another type of things. I just want to demonstrate the different sort of rules that you can perhaps do during your inspection. So engine liquids, I'm just going to read the description for this one. Please inspect the level of all engine liquids in the engine. Oil level must be at least 25%. Brake liquid must be at least 100%, and coolant must be of yellow color for Otis, pink for Schindler, and blue for Coney. Okay, so I can see straight away that the oil level is red and brake liquid is red for me as well. And I know from the description that the oil level must be at least 25%. If I put in 20%, nothing happens, nothing changes, nothing is working fine. So I'm just going to go for 70, and then I can see straight away that it's been fine. So I know that it must be at least 25% in order for it to let me go further. Then I go to the brake liquid, and then I know that it must be at least 100%. So once again, if I type in 90, you can set up a rule where if something is not right, you get another sort of question opens up, and here you can see that there was a text added and the link. If the brake liquid is not at 100%, please contact the head of maintenance immediately to arrange an immediate refill before continuing your inspection. So basically, I'm not able to continue my work without somebody else stepping in and doing something for me. So what I can do, I need to contact the head of maintenance. And without me needing to go back to the application and finding who is the head of maintenance, I straight away get a field here. I can click to select, and I can see that there is a contact associated here. For me, it's John Lennon, obviously. He's the best head of maintenance you can wish for. So I'm just going to click on John Lennon. I'm just going to contact him. Straight away, I can, give him a call and say, look, I had this problem. Please come here, do your job. He comes in, he does his job. Everything is great. He fills it in. Now we're back at 100 and it changes to green, and I may continue, and you can see that the rest of the fields have disappeared for me. What color of cooling liquid did you use? So if I go for yellow, that's fine, but obviously we know that there are different associations, different colors must be used for different manufacturers. So if I select the wrong one, oops, there's a problem. So you can kind of specify it within the application itself. You can sort of guide the inspector to do his job properly by setting up a set of different rules. Let's continue on. The other sort of different question type that I would like to show you is the tagged image one, which I mentioned is a kind of newish feature that we have. So check the doors and call buttons on each floor. Document all the issues you find during the check using tags. So take a picture. Okay, so I know that I need to go and take a picture. And this time around, I have a picture that's available for me in the iPad. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually capture a picture. I have made a little, I have printed out a little photo, which is unfortunately only in black and white. But it doesn't matter for our purpose. It's completely fine to use this. So I'm just going to click and just going to do a picture. If I'm happy with this, I can click on use photo, and what you can see here, I have the picture show for me, and on the right hand side at the bottom I have a little plus button, and if I click it, I have different sort of questions that have been asked for me. I need to place them on the image itself. So doors, okay, I can see that there are doors here, so I'm just gonna drag and drop. I can see that there's a little icon, a little color associated with this. Obviously the door is outside, so floor number is relevant here. I'm gonna press 0. If there is any problem, I can specify it here. I can say that it's dirty, and obviously you can put in some additional comments if you want to. But let's just continue on. I have 2 other questions that I need answered. Push buttons, so let's just go here. Let's click on this. Floor number, obviously this is not relevant for me at this moment, as there's only 1 push buttons. But if they're working, I'm just going to press OK, and same goes for the display. I'm just going to move it here, and I don't know if it's broken or missing. You can specify it here. Once I'm happy with this, obviously what you can see here, the icons and the colors, you can customize everything. You can have as many question types as you want here. Questions that you want here. You can also be able to copy them. So if you have more numbers, you will have more additional questions. Okay, I'm happy with this. I'm just gonna click on the little flash. Oops, sorry, click on the wrong one. But you can see here that it's been added for me. Okay, once the inspection has been done, I'm basically gonna do the final notes. Have you found any problems during your inspection? I can say yes if there have been. If I want to take further steps, I can click on yes, and straight away you can see that an email address have been offered to me straight away to kind of contact them and say that this is a problem I need to address. And you can send them an email straight away from the application. If I don't want to do anything like that, that's fine, and I can sign for this inspection. So I'm just going to go to Signature Inspector and click on the little icon here, and I can sign this. We also have a support for DocuSign, so that can be associated with the questionnaire as well. So once I'm happy with this, that's great. I'm done my job, and now what I need to do is I need to show this to to the customer. So let's say that the Brian Kurtz who was with me, he had to leave. I need to show this inspection to the management. So I go there and I'm gonna show them a report. So I'm just gonna go back, and you can see that 2 inspections have been associated with this account. One on the 13th of February, which was completed, and one today, which is still in progress. What I can do now is I can generate a report. So I just slide to the left, run report. Obviously, you can select the different format for this. It doesn't matter for me, but I'm just gonna go for PDF, and I'm gonna run the report. And it's going to run the report for me, and you can see here that there's all the information that I have pre-filled from my questionnaire, and they can see even the pictures. I mean, this is completely up to you how you design this. You know, the look and feel of this can be completely tailored, and there is also my inspection. So they go through this and they see also a list of recommendations. They're happy with this. They want to sign for it as well. I'm happy as well. What I can also do is I can print it out for them or send it to them. But if I'm happy, I want them to be signed, I just go back to the questionnaire and customer signature. So if, you know, I don't know, Joe Doe or John Doe, or it doesn't really matter what the name is, customer signature, they signed for it, and I just save this. Okay, so now my questionnaire is really happy. They have signed for it as well, but obviously they want to have a copy of this. Not a problem at all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the little hamburger menu there. I can complete it, but I can also complete it with a report. So once I complete it with a report, there has been no further changes that I can do to this afterwards, but this is what I want to do. Yes, and I want to have a report from this. And when the reports get generated, as you can see, the signature of the customer has been added as well. Obviously, as I mentioned before, you can print this or email this, you know, if you have a mobile printer, or you can email this straight away to the customer or to your colleagues or whoever necessary. Okay, so this has been pretty much the application itself. What else I've said that I will show you is the backend tools. So I'm just gonna go back to my my browser. And as you can see on your screen, basically this is running on Resco Cloud, so you get an idea about how does it work with Resco Cloud. So you can see here that this is my backend, and I have the different modules that are enabled for me. So I have the designer, scheduler, the inspector, which is the application itself, the automatic dashboard, results viewer, and the report designer. And then finally I have my Woodford and admin console. Obviously there are different connectors here, but that's not important for us now. So let's just go to the designer, and just to show you, just to get a feel for how does this actually look like and how does this work. So as you can see here, I have different questionnaires that I have created for me. You can see which ones are active, so you could see that in my demo we have used this one. So let's just maybe open this up and see how it's been designed. Obviously you can have this associated with any sort of security role that you want. You would do that with using of the associate button here. If I click that, you can see what's this associated with. Okay, let's just open this one up. Here we go, opening questionnaire. There we go, and then in the middle you can see the user interface itself. So you can basically see where you would drop the questions and how the questionnaire is built and designed. On the left hand side you can see sort of list of the different questions that have been added to it. In the middle of this we have the different components. We have 3 different groups. We have a group component, then we have a static component. So you can put in description, links, images, entity link, and then we have different inputs that you can put in. So once again, text, multiple lines of text, single choice, multiple choice. We have used a lot of these during the questionnaire. And then in the middle you can see straight away. So if I want to add some sort of single choice, no problem at all. I just drag and drop it and just place it where I want it to be on the questionnaire. And then I can type here the name. I can type it what will be the answer for this, and then it will be created for me. Here's a button if you want to make it visible or not. And I mean, you can get more information on this in a different webinar or on our website or on YouTube. So I'm just not going to waste too much time on this. It's just to get to just to show you basically how this is designed. What we also work on, as I mentioned before, is the preview. So if you click this button, you will basically be able to see a preview here on the right hand side of the application itself. So straight away you will see, instead of the user interface that you have in the middle, you will be able to see how it will look like in real life. Okay, so this is the designer. Once again, if you have any questions about this, feel free to type them in the box provided for this. Great, so this is the designer. Let's just maybe open up the scheduler. So this is the tool which I mentioned, enables you to schedule the work for your field stuff. So let's just open this up. Here we go. And basically, it's very simple to understand. Here at the top, you can see I have a list of my accounts. Obviously, it depends on how you want to set this up. If you're familiar with the field service, you would have work orders here, but you can have whatever entity you would like here that you will work for tasking. On the left hand side, you are able to see the list of the users who are using the application. So the stuff that is in the field, you can see my name here. So this is set up for me. So if I want to schedule another job for me for tomorrow, no problem, I just drag and drop it. You can see that if there is a problem, task is in conflict with another task, it changes red. Or if I want to do something in the past, there will be an error saying, do you want to really do this in the past? I can override this and go for yes if I'm that crazy. Okay, timetable settings, you can basically specify the working hours that your company works for during, so 8 to 5, for example. You can have a different views that you can enable here. So here's a week view, but we can have a 2-day view if this is something that you want to do. Also, if there's some sort of problem, you will see a little warning sign. What you can also do, which is quite handy, is run auto schedule. So if you don't want to do this manually all the time, you just click on the button. It gives you two different choices. So I want to optimize my schedule per resource. So I'm just going to click on that. Are you sure you want to do this? The process can change already schedule times. Yes, I want to do this. And then it does it for me, and basically based on my preferences. So I wanted to include the optimization process for new task and task with conflicts, so not for the ones that have been already scheduled. It does it for me. It gives me all the information that come out from this optimization. So there was an improvement on empty gap, and how many tasks were changed and stuff like that. Okay, saved, happy. So I think this is pretty much straightforward. So this is the scheduler. Then maybe let's take a look at the automatic dashboard. So what this enables you to do is enables you to collect all the questions that your field staff collected, and then basically show them in the form of graphs on your screen. So you're able to do some sort of analysis of the data. So you can specify which questionnaire you want to do the analysis for. Let's just do the one that I did now for the demo, and it's going to build for you, and then we can scroll through it to see what are the different questions that have been answered and what's the statistics on it. So I have some sort of timelines, and all the answers basically are here. You can scroll through them. You get different lists, you get different graphs, and you can basically just see all the answers that you've been looking for in this manner. Okay, so this is the automatic dashboard. If you're interested in something more sophisticated, you want to plug your data somewhere else, I recommend using a results viewer. It is another such analysis tool that we offer, and what this basically enables you to do, it enables you to filter out better the information. So if I go, if I'm interested to access only the questionnaires that have been created by me, I just select myself. I can specify the date. I can specify the type of templates that have been that I want to get the information for. So if I go to the satisfaction survey, you can see straight away that it's been done for me, and then I can export this data as a CSV document, and you can basically import into a different program, or process them in any way you want. You can open them up in Excel, or use Power BI for this. It is completely up to you how you want to do this. And then finally we have the report designer. So this is something which I mentioned before. When you do a report, there's a specific design that you want to have associated with your company. This is where you would do it. I have different reports that are here, and just to give you an idea about how does this look like, I can just basically open one up, and basically it's like a table that you input the information which you want to have included on your mobile report. Okay, there we go. And so this would be pretty much it. If you're familiar with Woodford, this is where you would access it. Now Woodford is HTML, so obviously it opens up in your browser straight away, and you can see the Woodford that you're already familiar with, and then you can open up your project here. Obviously this is the same Woodford that you get for any other project. You get it for inspections as well. Okay, so this would be it from my side. So thank you very much once again to participate on this webinar, and have a nice rest of the day. Bye bye.